Welcome back to Art Club. Today is the letter F. I'm going to focus on something a little bit different for the letter F. We're going to go for frontline heroes in honour of all the men and women that are working so hard for us on the front line. So an extra special drawing today. I hope you like it. I have had to pre-draw everything with my pencil, so there's going to be no pencil outlining today because this is a bigger and slightly more ambitious project. So if you're ready, let's get drawing. Let's go with the letter F to start off with. I'm doing something a bit more cartoony today, so I'm going to do a nice strong letter F, and I'm going to shade my letter F, give it a shadow, and there, and here, like so. So we said for our frontline heroes, that's what today's drawing is all about. And because it's quite a big project, and it's something that you can again add to and customize to your heart's content, especially with some of the shapes, the styles and the colors that we are going to use. So I had to plan this one out in advance, and I started this whole sketch with 4 boxes. So let's draw these boxes in as I drew them. They are nice and large, and they're going to be cut off a little bit. Here's my first box. Here is my second box. And I also put a little bit of a shadow. I say a little bit, it actually looks like a big shadow, doesn't it? Behind this box, so let's fill that in as we go along. And then we have our third box, which is at an angle. And then we have our fourth box right at the very end. So these are rectangular in shape. They're not really square boxes. I'm gonna round off this corner, and again, we want a little bit of shadow behind our last box. And I'm gonna move my pencils out and just colour that in very quickly. And we could even do a little technique that I showed you last time with the dinosaur. We can do these lines as a form of a shadow. That will save me wasting too much ink on my felt pen. Now, to help frame this a little bit so you can see that they are 4 boxes, because I'm aware that this one here doesn't have a bottom, neither does that one or this one. So I did a banner, a nice big banner in which we're going to put some writing. So this is the start of the banner, the center of the banner, and then we have this part which has 2 points, and this goes underneath, and then we have another banner. I am really not good with straight lines, never have been. I can't draw houses, castles, cars, motorbikes, anything that requires straight lines. I'm much better with curves. But here we have our top banner, and I can see a little bit of shading that needed to go on this particular box here. Now in our 4 boxes, each one contains a picture which relates to something that's going on in our world at the moment, and something that is very close to my heart. And this whole drawing is a tribute to all the men and the women who are working so hard at this particular moment in time that we're all going through. Let's do the bottom part as well. So as well as having a nice banner at the top, we have, well, it can be whatever you want to be. In my head when I was drawing this, I thought I'm going to turn this into a rainbow because I want it to be nice and colourful. But it can also be a banner. And I have got some clouds that go around this little banner to the side of it, just to help frame it. The cloud here. And a nice little cloud. And I'm sure you can see as well, we also have some stars at the side. I know I said I couldn't do lines before, but stars I'm okay with. But they're often not symmetrical. And sometimes they do go a bit strange. But just like love hearts, I like drawing stars. We have some stars on this side. Let's get those drawn in. And a big star at the bottom. In the middle of our banner here, we have a nice big love heart. And then at the side, we have another heart. And on the other side, another heart. So we have 2 clouds, a banner, which could be a rainbow if you wanted it to, and then a collection of cluster of stars here, star at the top, and then we have our 4 boxes. We're going to put some words in here and some words in here. But first of all, let's get filling in our little boxes. So each box relates to something special. So on box number 1, I have a person in here, and this person here is a doctor. So my doctor is wearing a pair of glasses. And this is my doctor's ear. My doctor also has beard. So I will do my beard like so. And this is my doctor's nose. And my doctor's eyebrows. And let's do the top part of the beard. And as it goes over our doctor's lips, around our doctor's lips. And the doctor's neck, and the doctor's hospital clothes. This is a little stethoscope. Kind of a doctor with a stethoscope. And there's the bottom end of the stethoscope, the part that he puts in his ears to listen to your breathing and your heart, very important. And we have here, and then we have the sleeve of his hospital gown. Let's do a frame around the inside of the glasses. And let's do our doctor's eyes. We will do our little dot to keep that nice and white, so it's reflective. And our doctor's mouth. And I'll give him a little smile, because even though he's got a lot of work on his hands, we don't want him to be unhappy. Now, next to him, we are going to do a nurse, and I've chosen to do a female nurse. We have a male doctor and a female nurse, but it could be the other way around. Now, our female nurse, she's doing everything correctly, and she has got her little mask on to prevent her from getting any germs. And then we do her eyeball. We have a little ball of light in there as well. And then give her a few little eyelashes. Do her hair. And her neck. Going around to her gown. Like so. And her arm. So we have a doctor and we have a nurse in box number 1. In box number 2, another very, very important job that I, for one, am very thankful for, and that is the people that work in our supermarkets and our local stores that allow us to get all of our essentials, all the food items that we need whenever we run out. And that's a very important job that they do. Well, let's just give her a little nose and do her eyes. And again, if you're doing this at home, it could be a male or a female person working in the store. Now we have some shopping items here, and I've included essentials. So things like milk and bread. And I put some vegetable here. It looks like a tree. It's a piece of broccoli. There's a little badge for our person working in the supermarket. And let's put milk on here, shall we? Milk. In the next box, we have what we've been doing for the last couple of Thursdays. And this is out of respect for all of our friends and colleagues and people that maybe we don't know that are working on the front line for us. And that's to show our respect by clapping. It's a really simple thing. I've been going out every Thursday and doing my bit. to show how much I appreciate all of these people working on the front line. So we've got some hands here, and it's 2 hands. And then we do this sort of shape. It's almost like an explosive shape, which replicates sound, or the sound that the hands make when coming together. They do that shape a lot in comic books, but when there's like a loud bang, but we're using it for something a lot more respectful. Got our little fingers here, and then here's the symbol to show that we are clapping and showing our appreciation. And then in the last box, we have got a delivery man. The delivery men in the UK and around the world are doing a wonderful job in enabling us to still get our mail, and for any special things we feel we need. They're also delivering food, so allowing us still to have some special little treats and some essentials. So a lot of people are ordering their food from home, getting online deliveries. Other people are using postal service and companies like eBay and Amazon to get them the things that they need. So I thought we would have a special little delivery driver here. And here's a little letter. Just regular post and regular mail. So now I hope you can see it a little bit better. Everything we've got included. Our doctor and our nurse, our person working in the supermarket, our hands clapping to show appreciation, and our delivery person. And again, he can be doing, what can we put? He could be doing food. He could also be doing goods. So absolutely anything our little delivery driver could be doing. Give him some little buttons on his top. So in our banner, I'm gonna use the same font as I've done here. I might just sketch this out actually, just to make sure that it fits. So I want my T to be here. That's my T. And then we want our F to go here. And it's always important with the letters that they do fit in. F, R, O, N, T. I'll make that T a little bit shorter and go that way so I can fit the N in properly. So that's why it's always a good idea to sketch that out. And then I've got loads of room here. So this can be slightly bigger. So I want L, I, N, E, front line. Actually, I could have balanced that up a little bit better. and then heroes here. H, E, R, O, E, S. Frontline heroes. And at the bottom, we are going to have a big thank you using the same nice bold font. But you know, you guys, when you're trying it at home, experiment with writing. It's always something that I had a lot of fun doing with my drawing. And I will still continue to do a letter every day and try and change the style of the letters. So I just thought today, because it's a serious message that we're sending out a big thank you to these men and women. I thought I would go for a nice bold font, bold letters, but you could change them up. Maybe do something a little bit more curvy. And then in here, because these are the people that, or the organisation that we're really thankful for here in the United Kingdom, is the good old NHS. So the NHS goes in one of our clouds, N, H, and then the S is slightly outside the cloud. And let's start to fill in all of the words, making it nice and bold. There's our N. And you could even, if you wanted to, if there are things that are more important to you, like if you wanted to thank your parents or a best friend, you could include them in one of these boxes or add another box. So here's our thank you. Let's do front. F. R. O. N. And then the T slightly outside. Front. Now I'm going to rectify this because I don't like how I did that at all. L, I, N, E. Front line, and then our heroes is our very last word. Here's our E, and then the last part is the S. So these are our frontline heroes. That's our picture done. Now comes the fun part. We get to colour this in however we want to colour it in. I think I may start off with some felt tip pens for once. So I am going to do my love heart. because I want this nice and strong. And we're going to do this in a red. Nice bold colour. Classic colour for a love heart. We'll put a little highlight there. And just do the last bit, the outer corner. And I'm going to keep it really patriotic. I'm going to do a red, a white and a blue heart. Again, if you're trying this or following along at home, you can pick any colours you like. You could even do patterns for these. I will keep with my blue because the NHS I feel should be in blue. I don't know why, but because it's a hospital, I always think of it as being a blue. That's the colour I associate with the hospital. I guess blue and green. And I'll do the H a slightly different colour. Or maybe a different colour blue. And I've got 2 of these, so I'll do this N as well. And just lightly with my felt tip pens. And the S. It feels good to use the felt tip pens. Normally I go straight in with a pencil crayon. I wanted this to be slightly stronger, and I think when you're doing letters, for me, I like them to be stronger. So I'm going to switch to a lighter colour blue now. The H. Just fill that in. And the H on this side. You can start wherever you want to start when you're filling this in. NHS. And our thank you in our red, white and blue. Now, do we keep the banners white? Yes, I think we do. But I will change the letters. I'm going to do them every single letter in a slightly different colour so we can get it nice, colourful. So let's start off with yellow for the T. I may have to repeat some colours. And I think the O should be yellow too. Let's have an orange, but the orange doesn't go anywhere near these colours. We'll have that here. Now I'm going to try not to replicate the colours of the hearts underneath. Maybe a bit tricky. I hope I have enough colours in my felt tip pens to do this. I can put... No, I'm not going to put that orange next to yellow because they work really, really well together. Let's go for a light green here. That's for the letter K. I thought when you're doing these letters, if the colours are bright, it really stands out, so it helps you with the message that you're trying to send. Let's do this colour blue. Here. On the U. And let's do this colour here on the A, which is a bit more greeny. It's a greeny blue, turquoisey colour. And I've still got a green, I've got a purple that I can do. So I'm going to do the purple for the H. What a beautiful colour purple is. So vibrant, nice and strong. Thank you. I'm glad we chose purple for last because that finishes it off really, really nicely. Here's our thank you. Now what about the stars? Let's mix these stars up. I'm going to do one in pink. Like a nice bright magenta pink. Because I want this to be bright and colourful. And this could even be, once this is done, and if you're really happy with it, this is be a little message that you post on your windscreen, on your window, sorry, I should say, not windscreen. We shouldn't be using our cars, and this is for essentials. If you want to put it up on your window in your bedroom, because it really shows your support that you're giving to all of our frontline heroes. Go for a yellow star here. Now, if you have got lots of arts and craft materials at home and you're dying to give them a try, this picture here would be the best one to do it. So you can make the stars out of glitter. You could use the foam shapes to cut out, you know, the thank yous or any of the letters and stick those on. If you've got paints, you could do the paints, mix them up together and come up with some really wonderful creations. I am going to go in, remember I said about these highlighters, I hope this one works, I haven't used this one before, I hope it's not too strong. So this is a highlighter green, this is almost running out, so that comes out of my art box. We won't be using him anymore. Let's go for highlighter in pink. I know this works because I used it in one of the other pictures. Those pens are so bright, aren't they? So vivid. I need to get myself a new green highlighter. That's a note to self. Let's do the letters on the top before we go to colouring our people and our backgrounds. Now I'm wondering if I should do them all the same colour and do something really nice. I'm actually tempted to use my highlighter pen just so it stands out a little bit more. What do you think of something stronger? Something stronger, but equally as bright. I wonder if we can go for a nice green. Let's see what this looks like. We haven't used dark green anywhere else, but it's a good colour. We'll start with the line to see how it looks, because it's central. This is where my eye is drawn to first. There's our eye. Let's get the end filled in. Nice bold colour. I didn't know if this would be too dark, but I think it's good. And obviously black is the strongest colour, and we could have coloured them in black to make them really stand out. Do I want a different colour? Yeah, let's go for a different colour. Let's continue the way we did it. Let's do front in red. That's a good colour to stand out. F, letter R. You could even do the same as we've done here if you wanted to. This is your work of art. There's no reason why you couldn't mix up the letters and do something really colourful. Let's get the letter N. So we've got some really strong colours here. I think I know what my final colour is going to have to be. I wonder if you can tell. There are three colours that for me really stand out. And that's the purple. I enjoyed that one, it was so strong. And I think Heroes should be in a strong colour. Do the E. Cut out that little hole for the R. And another little hole for the O. And the E. And then the S. Frontline Heroes. And I see that I've missed a star at the top. So I am going to do this star in orange. That goes really nice as a contrast to the purple. Just perfect that a little bit more. Now we're ready to move on to these wonderful people here. And I'm going to switch over to my pencil crayons. I'll tell you for why, because I want these to look absolutely amazing. I may still mix them up a little bit, but for doing the people, I really want them to be looking absolutely amazing. So let's do our nurse first. And I've got a little flesh coloured pencil to do our nurse. And we will employ some of the techniques we've been using before. We will make this a little bit darker on this side here, and a little bit darker on this side here, but we will leave the centre part nice and light. A little bit dark around the eyebrow, and then the same on the neck. We will have it dark on the outside, like so, and dark here. So I'll leave you to create any skin tone you feel suits your characters best. I'm going to move on to my doctor. Just lightly colour for my base colour. And then we can go in again with a little bit more pressure for the detail. So we'll do it a little bit darker, press a little bit harder on the outside. Again. And the ears, mustn't forget those. Make the inside of the ear a little bit darker. A little bit of shading on the nose. And on the nostrils. And also around the glasses for a bit of shadow. This area here would probably be darker because of the shadow. And then the same for the neck. A nice light wash of colour to start off with. Nice and light. We will make it dark underneath the beard because we know there'll be shadow here. And see if we can graduate or blend this out. And then we will, because there's a top here, there'll be shadow. The top would leave a little bit of shadow. And we'll have a little bit more shadow on this side, but I will blend that in, graduate that in to the rest, and make this even stronger here if I can. We want a little bit of dark here, and also where the bridge of the glasses would be. And a light wash of colour on the inside here, and we'll keep it very, very light because there's glass in the spectacles, so that naturally reflects back, so the skin always appears a little bit lighter here. Now let's switch over to my flesh colour. We've got to do it on nurse's arm. And I need to make sure that I get the colours right here, and I'm probably going to end up getting it wrong, so apologies for anyone that's working as a doctor or nurse if I've done the colours wrong. I want a nice light blue, or a blue I should say, and a green. So I will do the nurse wearing the green. The nurse's overalls. Give that a nice wash of green colour first. I can feel my table wobbling. It means I'm applying too much pressure, and when I do, I get this nasty dark piece here, which I didn't want. A little bit of shadow on the inner part of the sleeve. I'm going to do this little neck piece and then shade in and make it a little bit darker on this inner corner. And then we will do the mask, and the mask would be, I guess we can use like a light blue to show that that's again a white paper mask. Or it wouldn't be a paper mask, would it? Not like the ones that I have at home. And you just put some of these lines in and a little bit of shading just on the mask. And on nurse's hair, I'm actually tempted. I was tempted to give her red hair, but maybe not. Let's give her a nice mousy brown colour. So I will mix two colours of brown here, a light one and a dark one. Just to get the right shade. Same for the bottom. This colour brown does have like a gingery element to it, so I guess I've got my way in the end. Thank you, colours. Here we are. We'll do it a little bit lighter as we do the fringe. And the top part of the head. Now I'm going to leave that light here. I'll just soften that line up, so again pressing much more softly. Now I can bring up the darker brown. Just add a little bit more definition and shape and style for our nurse's hair. I'm going to even do some lines with the hair. So I imagine that our nurse would have her hair tied back, or at least kept short. Same on the other side. As we go in here with a darker colour. A little bit more brown here. Connect those two together. And there's our nurse. Let's put my crayons back before I get in a muddle. And now we want our doctor. And let's see if I can find a good blue. This one should do quite nicely. I do think that the doctor's robes would be, I think they're a little bit lighter than this. Oh, I don't have the right colour blue. I think this will do. I wonder if I've actually done these as like surgical or operating robes. Here we go. Almost done filling in the doctor's body. Just around the little stethoscope. And here. We will do the same kind of thing. We'll add a little bit more darkness just to the outer part of the outfit. Just graduate that in, so it'll softly blend, more pressure on the outer part, and then slower and lighter as you get in. There would definitely be some shadow. Let's do the shadow on the inside of the stethoscope. And slightly above, and the same here, the shadow will be on the inside, and a little bit more here. We will do the V of the hospital gown, and we will make that a little bit thicker, and this will be the other part of the arm, just around here. Now I completely missed off a whole section of my doctor, including his hair. So let's just go and fill this in. A little bit of lighter, fleshier brown. And it's good to play around with your colours, get them mixed up. I want some dark colours here to really help my beard stand out. So there would be a lot of shadow here and underneath the lip. Now let's get a lovely rich black felt tip pen, pencil crayon, and we will just fill in the beard like so. Nice and even. I can really feel my table juddering a lot. All the way around, and get the moustache part. Make it stronger, so a little bit more pressure on this side here as we go along. So that's a lot darker. And then bring that around here, and also on the bottom make that darker. And then we need to do here at the top, same thing, a nice light wash of colour to start off with, especially in the centre, just like the nurse. And then press down firmer so we can get that colour a lot stronger on the inner and the outer sides. Now I need to give my doctor's glasses a colour for the frame. Now I think I may well go for sort of like a darker colour, maybe a deeper red shade. Make that nice and deep. Can leave a little bit of white in there, just as a bit of reflection. And there. And on the top of the frames here. And I'm also going to use a little bit of this light colour blue. Let's sharpen this first. Just to go across the frames like so. So you just do a couple of lines, and that makes it look more like glass. That's the same colour that we used for here. So here's our doctor and here's our nurse. And we can move on to our, let's do our hand claps. I want to do these because I really want to go back to a felt tip pen. And we're going to do two colours here. I didn't mark them out, but it's fairly easy to add. You just go over each one of the spikes. Or the outside in one colour. And I think orange is nice because it's very vibrant. Like so. I'll do this the same for all of the claps. And then the colour we will add to that is going to be yellow. So yellow goes in the middle. I'm going to do that gently around the fingers. Like so. And we will do all of them exactly the same. So this one here will be orange around the outside. And nice and strong and vibrant. Get the little points in. And then we switch to our yellow. And just around the inner parts, around the fingers. And then we have one more. So the orange again. Make that nice and strong, nice and bold. For the last clap. That's looking good. And then just the yellow. And we are almost done. All three done. We'll put in our hand colours. Let's do Caucasian colour for the top. Nice and light to start off with, and I'll explain why. Won't do too much detail on this, but we do want this colour here darker because it's in shadow. So make sure that you press really hard to get that full strength of colour there. Now we can, of course, go in and add a little bit of detail, accentuate the lines on the fingers for one hand. Let's change that up. Let's do a different colour hand in the middle. Nice and light for the big hand. I like to make sure that this is a true reflection of the world that we live in, by including absolutely everybody as and where is possible. So let's just add a little bit of detail on the thumb and on the fingers, a little bit of shading. And then remember, we have to press harder on the hand that's in the shadow, hand number 2. And not all the fingers are in the image, but this will do. A little bit more shade here. That's looking good. And one more hand. And this colour, this colour. It's my flat tip pen doing in there. So a nice light wash of colour first. On our final hand. Darker this hand here, which is the shadowed hand, the hand that's coming together to make the clap sound. Press extra hard to get that colour nice and solid, and then we'll do the same again. We want a little bit of shadow. To the fingers and also to the arm here, and I can colour in or give it a top. Let's do this lovely colour red for the sleeves, make them a bit stronger here because this is where I added our shadow. Press a little bit harder, and I need a tiny little bit of my black velvet pen just to do the inner part of the sleeve. Let's give her a little bit more of a smile. Don't like it if I do people that look too unhappy. So our cashier, or the lady that's working in the shop, she is definitely going to have red hair or ginger hair. Again, you give her any colour hair that you want and any hairstyle as well. You don't always see a lot of people with orange hair, which is why I like to include it. We have the gingers represented in my artwork. She looks a bit like Daphne from Scooby-Doo. She has red hair, so that's why she's one of my favourite characters. Actually, Shaggy has a little bit of red in his hair as well. So let's add some definition, some shapes to the hair. Let's make this rounder and the shadow on the outside. And here, these little points of hair. And also this part, the inner corner here. And the outside parts of the hair. Press harder to get that colour looking bolder and stronger. And one little piece here. Now let's give our colour in our lady. I keep putting my fresh colours away. Just a light wash of colour for the skin tone. And then we can add in a little bit of shade just to the outer part. Now, unlike our doctors and nurses, we can give our lady that's working in the supermarket a little bit of makeup on. Yay! So let's give her a little bit of a pink cheek. And let's give her a little bit of a pinky red lip. And my makeup artist friends are going to speak to me about this, but I'm going to give her purple eyeshadow, just like every young checkout lady should have. And that overall, let's do that a nice deep, almost crimsony red. I don't know what supermarket that is. I feel really bad actually. I have a funny feeling that Tesco's is blue. Sainsbury's, is Sainsbury's brown and orange for their overalls? I will have a good look next time. I think Waitrose is green. Maybe I should combine all of them. All the colours of the costumes of the people that are working. Actually, it's not a bad idea. Let's give her a nice green top. I think she'd thank me giving her a green top as opposed to a brown one. That the poor people in Sainsbury's have to wear, if they still wear that. I didn't do a little bit of shading here, and a little bit of shading on the nose and this side of the face, because that's in a little bit of shadow. Milk cartons are white. I want a nice colour, red, because I have, this is mother milk that I would have, which is skimmed milk, not semi-skimmed, much to everyone's annoyance. I like the one that is very watery. This is milk, and then we want almost like a light browny colour. But I will also use a little bit of yellow as well for the sliced bread. Where is that nice light unusual brownie colour? That's just here. So here's our crusts for our local bread. And we'll colour that in at the bottom, make that nice and strong. And then we want a bit of green, oops, a nice vibrant green for the broccoli. And I will make the stems for the broccoli a darker green. And the badge can be nice light. My pencils are falling out everywhere. The badge can be a nice yellow badge. That would be her name badge. Could even be a gold badge. Just put a few lines in there just to make that look like it's gold. And then we just have our delivery boy to do. So let's do his skin first. I always like to do the skin of the characters that I'm doing. First of all. So a nice light wash of colour first, before we go in with any detail and any shading. So as little pressure as possible. Leave a little bit of white around the eye. Now there's going to be shadow here because of his cap. So we make that a little bit darker. Underneath the eye, the ear, and I think we will have the shadow being on this side of the face here. A little bit top of the nose, a little bit under this part of the mouth. For the neck, it would definitely be a lot of shadow here, around by the collar and around. Let me do the arm. Shadow underneath the arm. And let's give him a little bit of detail on his hands. and especially on this hand here that's holding the box. And then we need to colour the box in. I'm going to do the box yellow. We haven't done yellow a lot. So just a nice light wash of colour. And I put goods, because it can be absolutely anything that this guy is delivering for us. A little bit more vibrant on the top. I'll add a little bit of a shadow. I want to make it darker where his hands are. And then I'll actually make this side here a lot darker. And what colour top should we give him? What colour haven't we had? Well, we haven't had orange, but you know what? I've mentioned it a lot. Let's give him a nice purple top. Colour can be slightly darker purple. And a nice light wash of colour. I am liking that. That goes nice with the colour of the parcel. There you go, a little bit of shadow underneath the arm. And where the parcel is leaning against him, and also here. And the hat. I've got a slightly different colour purple. Do I do that, or shall we go for a blue hat? A blue hat, that's good. There we go. The rim, we will keep that lighter. And then his trousers are going to be grey. These are his work trousers. Take that right up underneath the shirt. Make that darker so we have a bit of shadow. A bit of shadow on this leg. Let's just use this grey again, just a little bit on the letter. So on the seal of the letter. That was looking good. And we'll get a darker brown colour. And we will just do a few lines on the box just to make that look cardboardy. And I think that's all of our characters done. Let's do a few more little bits and pieces just to finish it off. But I want you guys to go absolutely crazy with this. I'm just gonna make the clouds like have a pinky edge to them. So they're gonna be white, but just with a little bit of pink. Just lightly just colour in just the outer parts of each one of the clouds. Very, very lightly. This cloud, a little bit here. And then the same here. Now these could actually be colours as well. The bands don't have to be they don't have to be white at all. You could fill these in with a colour to make them really stand out. But I'm fully aware of the time that we spent doing this, and I get so engrossed in my artwork. I don't know if it's the same for you, but once I start a picture, I could keep going and going and going, and that wouldn't be fair for you to watch like 2 or 3 hours of me talking or doing a picture. So you have still got background colours that you can do for each one of our frontline heroes, and you could do some different effects for the writing. Like you could add stripes, I guess, across to any of these. You could do different coloured backgrounds and different textured backgrounds. This banner here needs to be done. But for now, I'm going to sign off and leave our frontline heroes work of art where it is, so I don't do any more and eat into our time. So I really hope you have fun doing this sketch. This is a good one. This one has a little bit more meaning than some of the ones that we've done before. Enjoy it, share it. I very much look forward to seeing what you produce. So until tomorrow, take care and bye from me.